going in. It's 1st and 10. I'm a legend boy, a champion. They can't match the flows, the X's and O's. I'm breaking the code, devastation about to unfold. They calling me Derek by the way I roll. Bet you never ever seen a pro this cold. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I mix with Iron Mike and the great Ali. I'ma run it back, believe me, baby. I fathered the game, call me Daddy Brady. I'm like that, try be like this. Sammy Sosa, that boy don't miss. It's the return of the greatest. Any way you name it, I'm everybody's favorite. I'm bringing the pain and bringing the fire. Hey, stay tuned, it's going down to the wire.
Welcome everybody to The Wire. We do not have Justo. We will maybe have Marvin a little later, but I'm with, of course, my guys Trey and Sahe. And you know, we did an egregious thing in my opinion. And I'm gonna ask you guys in a second how you doing, but we skipped out on the NBA during its opening week. I think that was a little foul on all of our parts. But how you guys doing, man? Glad to be back, Trey.
Good. I'm glad to be back too. Gotta get my Mondays fixed up. I got my Mondays worked out, so I'll be back on Monday.
Word. Glad to hear it. Sahe just chilling, doing his thing, I see.
Yes, sir. You know, I'm saying all day, every day.
That's right. All right. So we talked about it. Let's get into it. The NBA. We had Steph Curry saying officially he played like ass and he got a triple-double in the opener against that old LA team. And then he scored 45 points, going 15 for 15 in the first quarter, I believe is what it was. But I'm not here to talk about Steph Curry or the Warriors. I just want to talk about those old Lakers because Sahe mentioned something off the air. Sahe, why don't you tell everybody what's going on? What's up with the Lakers?
You know, the Lakers, they got a little funny schedule going on. It's like they're in cahoots with the NBA, you know what I'm saying? They don't have any back-to-back. I heard Skip mention earlier, 12 of their first 15 games are at home. And I was looking at the schedule and I'm like, all these teams got back-to-backs. They're playing 2 games in a row. And I'm looking for the Lakers. And I'm like, you never see them twice in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? What's up with that? Is the league catering to LeBron?
Is the league... Ooh, Trey, how about you answer that? Is the league catering to LeBron?
The league knows what's best for him. Okay, the league's not catering to LeBron. This is just how it pans out. You know, how he got his conspiracy theories. You know how he does. You know, every time that it looks like there's an advantage going to something that he don't like, all of a sudden they out to get him. The Lakers.
No, I'm a Lakers fan.
I was gonna say he a Laker fan though. In all fairness to Sahe.
Well, then he needs to be quiet. We got a favorable schedule. You see, we need all the help we can get. We finally won it.
That's true.
Okay.
Those back-to-backs are killers.
I will say I agree with you that the league is going to do what's in the best interest for the league. And but what do we mean by that? For viewership at the end of the day, right? I think that's what this really comes down to. But I will say this, it's oddly suspicious to Sahe's point that 75% of their games are at home and they don't have a double at all. That's a little surprising. But when you average like 47 and a half is your like roster age, I could understand they need a little break here, dude.
47 and a half. Listen, you want to make sure AD's healthy. You want to make sure LP's healthy. You don't want anything really happening to LeBron. Carmelo Anthony's old. Rajon Rondo's old. I mean, do we really want to play these guys back to back? And then at that, if they do get hurt, do we really want to see a playoffs without the Lakers in it? No.
I mean, what about competitive fairness, man? Come on.
Fairness. Have
you just doing all this for LeBron?
Have you seen all these rosters? Have you seen these rosters?
Everybody looks good. Yeah, everybody looks good.
We need all the help we can get.
I mean, I'll say this much. The state of New York is crippling the Nets. So I feel like the Lakers are already getting a little help there, in all fairness, you know?
True. Yep.
Even if you take the Nets out of it, we still got to contend with Chicago looks like.
Yeah, they're looking good.
Yeah, I mean, this is some team. The East is not no slouch. Miami looks good.
Hey, I'm not hating, Trey. You're right.
When Charlotte comes back, when LaMelo comes back for Charlotte.
Hey, Charlotte's undefeated right now, to your point. And I'll say this much, you know, we all know Milwaukee's the champs. They still the champs, bottom line. Golden State's looking okay. You got Utah, which again, they might choke in the playoffs, but Utah's a tough team. And of course, let's not forget the Nuggets, who didn't have Murray. Who knows what,
but now they got my guy, Lance Stevenson.
Hey.
Lance make him dance.
Lance make him dance, man. He's the Bron stopper. Or at least he used to be, according to his own head.
I'm just playing. Yeah. I like Lance Stevenson.
Yeah, me too. I was always into him, man.
Superstar, but he's entertaining to watch for sure. So I agree. Lake Show is
definitely in a position to need it because this Westbrook thing is looking rough. I'm not a hater. I love Russell Westbrook. I love his energy, but he's like, him and LeBron have a similar style, except LeBron's is better. If we're just being objective here. So it's hard to have two guys like that when you don't have they don't have the sharpshooter. And I think that's part of the problem. But what's not part of our problem is Marvin Scott is about to join the building. And we're going to ask him his take on the Lakers and the Lake Show. Marvin, coming in from the Bay. Good to see you, brother. How you doing, man?
What's up, y'all?
Well, we're talking one thing, Marv. We're talking about NBA. And egregiously last week, we did not mention that it started. So we're trying to play catch up. Quick question for you. Sahe brought up a great point. Lakers, 12 of their 15 games are at home and they don't have a doubleheader. Is the league fixing for the Lakers to get in the playoffs?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, they were going to get it in. They're going to get in anyway, just from the roster. I mean, they built. I mean, they built from the ground up this summer. I mean, they added a lot of pieces. They got Melo. You got a lot of veteran pieces there. So, I mean, what this schedule does is just give the players adequate rest, but I don't think it's rigged for them to get to the playoffs. I mean, they're led by LeBron. I mean, AD. I mean, they're gonna do work in the Western Conference. They're just removed from a championship a couple of years ago. So I don't think so.
Okay, fair enough, Marv. I'll say this. I agree too. I'm not trying to say the Lakers aren't going to make it, but I really believe it's going to take a while for them to build cohesion. And I don't see them getting past like 6th seed anytime soon for a while, man. It's going to be rough. They'll make the playoffs and they're going to be as big of a threat as the 1st seed. But man, I mean, we're talking about right now, we got Utah, Denver, Memphis, Portland, Phoenix. You know, we're not even talking about the Clippers, but the Clippers are still a legit team. I know they're 0-2. But I mean, we're talking the beginning. Oh yeah, I can't even talk about Golden State. But yes, the Warriors too. I'm such a hater.
Steph Curry is my early pick for MVP. That's a bad.
Mm-hmm. I ain't hating. I can't say the name. Somebody else will, and I'm glad you did. The Warriors are in there too. Fine. Klay Thomas.
The Lakers are going to be just fine. Like you just said, chemistry and cohesion, and that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Of course, like it takes a while to put the pieces together. So, within a month, I think that they can get there. They just won an impressive game against Memphis the other night. Yep. So it's just about just bringing getting Russ to really play like a true point guard. Really, he's easing into his transition. So you just got to give it time. But I think that all those teams you named off, they can contend with them. It's about like for real, they've been there already. Some of these teams like Denver, they've been there. Utah, they're still trying to figure it out. When they get to the postseason. But I think these teams are poised to have great regular seasons, but we'll see, in the postseason because the Lakers got that, they got that veteran leadership. So I don't know. I think that they'll be all right.
I feel like they're a long way away, man. They already fighting on the bench and everything.
Man, AD came at him real hot. What was that about?
That's okay. Man, what? That's all right.
They already won a championship together.
It's the opening week.
It's the second game, Marv. He needs to chill.
I see if it's the middle of the season and the playoff race is tight, and y'all bickering a little bit because y'all want each other to play better. But first week, It's supposed to be high fives and sunshine.
I'm with Sahe.
The better. The earlier, the better. Listen, get all the kids worked out now. Smooth everything out. By the time they hit the ground running, it's an operating machine. We'll just be in there working like clockwork. You know what I mean?
Hopefully. I'm with y'all. Hopefully. I ain't never seen a grown man grab another man's funny bone and squeeze that hard. Did you see Dwight Howard's face?
Yeah.
He was in pain. He was like, ow, like, what are you doing, man? I was shocked. I was surprised. Like I'd seen a the kerfuffle, and then I'm just all of a sudden they replay, and you see that little Enter the Dragon twist on his elbow. Right. Like, I was like, what is going on, dude? What defensive assignment did he blow to get that angry? It was crazy. I never see, and let's be real here. Those are two giant men. I wouldn't want either of them angry at me. So that's why I was shocked to see that. And, I'm with y'all. Obviously, it's nothing serious. But to Sahe's point, I was a little surprised on the second game they going in on each other like that. But they do know each other. They're boys. Obviously, that's why I think they're willing to, have some, this ain't Draymond Green and Kevin Durant, right? That's not what this is. I get it. Yeah. Y'all on the same page with that for sure. Damn it. All right, Trey, I got one question for you. We'll go to Marv, and then we're going to move on to the NFL because Sahe brought us a great topic. I feel like we actually got to have some fun with that. Trey, this is a different NBA already. We're seeing a lot of things and injuries, and weird stuff happening with some players not being able to play and things of that nature. Who are you most looking forward to watch this season? If it is the Lakers, who's your next most favorite?
Who am I looking at? I am really interested in... I'm actually interested in two things. I'm interested in what the Bulls do with Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and with the Lonzo. But I'm really interested in the Charlotte Hornets.
Okay, yeah.
I'm really interested. I think that they're going to be... I think they're going to end up being like a 4th or 5th team. And I'm really interested in what LaMelo has to bring to the table this year. I think that he's going to be... I think he's going to get some votes for MVP. Wow. I don't know why I feel that way, but he's a really interesting character. He's a really confident and fluid basketball player. And he's going to be unleashed this year.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely played like a beast last year. Bridges is looking good as power forward. So, yeah, that's a good pick. I like both of those picks. But I got to give the bald white dude Caruso some shout out to Chicago as well. But yes, I am looking forward to seeing Chicago and Charlotte. The East is quite frankly stacked. They're not as stacked in terms of superstar power, but man, these teams have some real depth and you're seeing it. You're seeing
and
it.
They're all playing together.
Yeah,
and they're all playing together.
For sure. Marvin, how about you? Same question, man. Because I already know Sahe loves the Lakers. So I ain't going to ask him that question. But Marvin, who are you looking forward to seeing this season? So far, what you've seen, who's the team?
I'm looking at the Knicks. I'm looking at the Knicks to still contend in the East. I think that they can play with the best of them. They still have Julius Randle. And they've got some great, and they've got, a good core. You got Derrick Rose. They brought him back. He can still get buckets every night. Who else? I'm really interested in seeing how the Nuggets do with Jamal Murray coming back, from the injury. And I wonder if he can, return to form like he did in the bubble. If he can play like he did in the bubble, then the Nuggets are contenders too. And I'm looking at storylines more so than I am at teams. I'm trying to follow, these storylines and see how they unfold. Kyrie, is he going to come back and join the team? What's going to happen with that situation? Because if he doesn't come back, are the Nets still a championship team? Klay Thompson coming back. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Warriors look with Klay Thompson coming back. They could be a championship team.
Don't say that.
Damian Lillard. Yeah. You know.
I know, but I don't want to have to hear it all around me. That's all I'm saying.
I feel that. Damian Lillard, man. I really want to see what's going to happen with that situation coming to trade deadline. Because, we've all heard the rumors with Ben Simmons and Damian Lillard swap, or Ben Simmons, Kyrie Irving swap. There's going to be a swap. I'm just wondering who's it going to be, because Ben Simmons is not going to play for the Sixers, for this month. I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm more so excited about the storylines.
Yeah, I mean, you made a good point. Honestly, I was about to say, you said something I was about to say, which is I'm looking forward to seeing the 76ers. The one thing, one of the things I think we do on The Wire a lot is sometimes we kind of enjoy the drama and we talk about those narratives. But what I really appreciated about Philadelphia is all that, what was going on in the shenanigans in the circus. When he came and talked to them, Ben, when I say he came and talked to the team as a man and talked about his issues, they're supporting him. And I really appreciate seeing that. I hope whether or not he does play a game, to Marvin's point, they can find a good resolution. Obviously, I think what would be interesting with Brooklyn and right now I'm hearing Brooklyn, I'm hearing Minnesota, and I'm hearing Portland. And all three of those, I feel like both teams would get something. So I would love to see that, particularly, for instance, with the Nets, you put him in that situation, Ben, he doesn't need to score. And now he can do what he wants to do, which is basically assist, try to dunk the ball, and play great defense, And that's what Brooklyn's been, we talked about it. They need defense and they don't need scoring. So that'd be something. It would be a win-win. Philadelphia would get a sharpshooter, and they would have, that inside-out game that they're missing with Ben, with Joel Embiid. Obviously, Dame brings you the same intangibles, just even further out. So we don't need to discuss that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Philadelphia is able to play this year. And I'm hoping if Ben Simmons does get moved, he gets moved quickly so he can move on with his career. And Philadelphia has time to mesh with whatever they end up trading for. But that's it for the NBA this week, guys. We're going to be talking about it a lot very soon, but we're going to get into the NFL after this quick break. Please make sure you comment, like, subscribe if you haven't already to The Wire, and look forward to H2G Podcast. We're going to be talking about some very serious stuff with Casey Anthony. So somebody might be making a surprise visit from The Wire there too. So we'll see how that goes. Stay tuned, guys.
The H2G Podcast, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in to H2G to hear us talk about the real topics like the heartbeat law, social media, and more. The H2G Podcast, Season 7, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Boy, normally I'd start the podcast off hot, but Trey just told me he had Joe Burrow on the bench for fantasy this week.
I did.
Trey, how's that feel?
I'm hurt because I started Tom Brady. I had Joe Burrow on the bench. Oh man!
All right. Well, I gotta say this much: we're gonna get to the show, but let's just start it off with that, man. I normally wouldn't do anything about the Bengals, but the Bengals played a heck of a game against the Ravens there, and I'll tell you what, Chase is looking insane. He at this pace.
What happened to him not being able to catch?
1,850 yards at this pace by the end of the season as a rookie, man.
Huh. And then in preseason, he couldn't catch a cold.
Yeah, that's what I think he was just playing that for everybody, right? Like just dropping everything. That way, week one, they would double him. And then he was just like, give me that shit. 150 on week one.
I mean, it's a good strategy.
I feel like I'm Saheing it right now, but I feel like that's the strategy, man, because he's playing phenomenal. It's crazy. All right,
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it too. How else is he, how can you just get the yips for the whole preseason and then just start balling out? Like, it had to have been, yeah.
Tippy toe catches, like one hand, ridiculous.
Yeah. That catch in Baltimore, he catches it in traffic, 3 guys, does a little spin, and see you later, dude. That was insane.
That boy's good.
He is good. He is good. But we are also good. We are on The Wire, and we're going to talk about the NFL. We are not here to talk about the Bengals in Baltimore. That was just a quick side note. Let's get to it, guys. We're going to discuss each conference, and we're going to talk about each division as well, of course, overall. Let's start it off. We're going to go alphabetical. Let's make this easy. AFC East, we got the Buffalo Bills at 4-2, New England at 3-4, the Jets at 1-5, and Miami at 1-6. What do you think about this division? Let's go with Sahe first. What you like, what you don't like?
who cares about this division, really? Is anybody gonna do anything out of here?
Woo! Okay.
Honestly, what do you guys think? Buffalo? Nah, Josh Allen, man. He's a great regular season quarterback. He just doesn't have the experience in the big time yet. I see him as a guy he's Jameis Winston-like, although he doesn't have the full 30 for 30. He might go, you know what I'm saying? He might go 30 and 22. But out of those 22, you know what I'm saying, 2 or 3 of those is going to come out in crucial moments where you really needed him to throw it away or slide. But he's got that big play gunslinger mentality that's ultimately going to do doom to the Bills, in my opinion. So that's why I overlook them, no matter what they do.
Okay, here's what I have to say to Sahe's comment. I'm disappointed in Buffalo just for the simple fact that they let our boy, the King, throw a touchdown. Throw a touchdown. What's going on here? Come on, man. How you going to let him throw? Like, run a touchdown, I'm fine with. But I'm a big Buffalo believer, Sahe, because Marvin has King Henry on his fantasy team. And thankfully, the 1 week he didn't perform was the week I played Marvin. Otherwise, I would have gotten stomped. So you know what? I'm a Buffalo believer for that alone. But no, I don't actually believe they're going to go anywhere. I'm with you. I believe they're going to go first round in the playoffs and lose. But what I will say is this, is I want to give them some props. They're 105 plus in their difference. So they've outscored their opponents by 105 cumulative points. So they are dominating when they're winning. But to Sahe's points, I'm a little concerned with the gunslinger mentality. It reminds me of Brett Favre. I'm not saying they're the same. But what I mean, what to Sahe's point, and I agree, he's a playmaker. He likes to make plays, and we're kind of seeing it with Patrick Mahomes. We'll get to that later, where sometimes they're just trying to make things happen instead of letting a play just die and throw it out of bounds. So I'll say this much. Buffalo's still looking great. They're absolutely a playoff contender, and I don't see anyone in the rest of this division challenging them. I agree, though, when you got the Jets and the Dolphins and the Patriots right now, is there much to discuss other than Buffalo? And are they going to actually be a factor in the playoffs? Marvin, do you think they would be a factor, Buffalo?
Oh, yeah. They got to the AFC title game last year.
That's right.
When you look at the receiving core, they added some veteran pieces. You got Manny Sanders out there. You still got Cole Beasley. I think the one thing you can really pick them apart at is their run game. Their run game is not really consistent. So that may be, problematic in the second round of the playoffs, because we know they're going to win the division. That division is dead. The Patriots aren't going anywhere. The Dolphins aren't going anywhere. They're trying to get Deshaun Watson. So they're really trying to look towards the future. And who else in that division is not doing anything? The Jets. What else is new? The Jets aren't doing anything. Zach Wilson is out for 2 to 4 weeks. So they having some guy, I don't know.
You don't believe in Joe Flacco?
That's playing quarterback. Joe Flacco.
They just signed him. They traded. No, he's going to be the backup. He's not going to be the starter.
Okay, if you thought I hated Matt Stafford before, Trey, I really hate Joe Flacco. I don't really have anything good to say about Joe Flacco. And I hope y'all back me up. Because, now this is perfect, because now you can stream any defense in fantasy against the Jets and have a great day and feel happy about it. But that division, is shot. I think Buffalo, they are Super Bowl contender, but they just don't have it yet. Even on defense, they still are jelly on defense. You saw what King Henry did to their defense not long ago.
Great. What do you think? Trey, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, brother. Still can't.
All right. So, I think the Buffalo Bills are the only team worth talking about in this division. Miami's looking to get Deshaun Watson. Zach Wilson's hurt for the Jets, and the Jets are horrible. They're dumpster juice. And the Patriots are trying to figure themselves out. They had a great win this past weekend, but really the only team worth discussing is the Bills. I think the Bills are. I want to say the Bills are my second favorite team in the AFC right now. So, I mean, just looking at it objectively, I think that the Bills are one of my top teams to make it to the AFC Championship game right now.
Okay. I agree with the panel there. I think, when you look at the AFC, the North is a little weird and the West is a little weird, and we're going to talk about that. But when you look at it right now, Buffalo does look like the favorite. Whether they will or will not be able to pull it off, we'll have to see. But we got a lot of weird stuff to talk about in a second. So let's go on to the AFC North as well. AFC North, this one is always a lot of us know this division very well. You got the Bengals and the Ravens both first. Technically, the Bengals first because they just beat Baltimore, as we discussed. And we have the Cleveland Browns and we have Pittsburgh. What do you guys think about this division? We're going to go reverse order. So Trey, you're going to lead us off. What do you think about the AFC North?
AFC North is probably one of the top two divisions in football. The only team I'm now worried about out of this division is the Ravens. And it's not even because of the Ravens running game. It's because of what Lamar Jackson is capable of doing just to win a game. We thought that they were strictly running, but we learned that Lamar Jackson will fling the football if he has to. And he'll fling it. And I think he had a game last week where he only threw for 100-something yards. It looked like he carved the mess out of him last week, and he only threw for like 182 yards. He gets it done one way or the other, even without the running game. And even with the running game, they have 3 Pro Bowl running backs behind them. At one point in time in their career, they were Pro Bowl running backs. And they have a defense. So right now, I think that the Ravens are the class of that division. The Bengals are Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase are looking really good. Joe Mixon is helping me out on my fantasy team. But the Browns just lost their quarterback. And the Steelers, I just don't have any confidence.
Okay, Marvin, how about you?
That division, the AFC North, it's an exciting division, like Trey said. I mean, it's probably one of the best divisions in our football. I mean, I would still say it's up for grabs. I mean, there's a lot of football to be played, the 17-week season, but from the top down, I'll start with the Bengals. I mean, the Bengals are no longer a joke anymore. They pretty much have the offensive player of the year, offensive rookie of the year, and Jamar Chase. I mean, he destroyed me in fantasy yesterday. I knew it was coming. I just didn't know when it was coming. And then when I checked my phone and I saw I got the notification of 82-yard touchdown, I was like, yeah, he did it again. But they have really made strides to the defense and the offense. So the Bengals are looking like they're a playoff contender again, since the Marvin Lewis days. And the Ravens, I'm worried about them. I'm really worried about the Ravens because of what Lamar Jackson is great. I think he's had like an MVP-like season, but I really think that what they're asking him to do is not going to be enough to get even to the AFC title game. They don't have a true number one receiver. Hollywood Brown is good, but he's not a true number one. But he's all Lamar Jackson has to throw to, him and Mark Andrews. And I don't think the 3 they're old Pro Bowlers. So I don't even know if they can get it done if it came down to them getting into the postseason. And when you look at who else is in that division, the Browns aren't healthy. I mean, Odell, we could probably say this is his last year there. I mean, it's just not working out. Like, they can't get him the ball. It's just you haven't seen that Odell from the New York days. So I don't really think that they have enough. Baker Mayfield's dealing with an injury. They've got Case Keenum in. He's got some playoff experience, but not going to be enough, to beat the Bengals or beat the Ravens. I don't think. It's not healthy. Nick Chubb is coming back this week, but Kareem Hunt is out. And the defense has played kind of mediocre, up and down this year. Minus Myles Garrett. He's been a beast. But besides that, the defense has been a little shaky, especially the secondary. And the Steelers, the Steelers are up and down every week. You don't know what they're going to do. They could go out and, put up, 20, 30 points, and the next week put up 3 or 6. You just don't know what's going to happen with the Steelers. But I honestly see the Bengals coming out on top of this division this year, and the Ravens getting into the wild card.
Hey, Sahe, what do you think?
Oh, man, I just feel like this division isn't what it seems. You know what I'm saying? Like Marvin was saying, it's way too early to tell. For Christ's sake, the Bengals are number 1 in the division. Come on now. If somebody would have told you that the Bengals was going to be number 1 in the division at the start of the season, you would have slapped them right in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? You would have been like, boy, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And the team in 4th place is 500 at 3-3, the Steelers. So it's way too early to tell on this division. I still feel like the Browns have the best chance to do something out of this whole division. So I disagree with Trey a little bit there. I do love the Ravens. I love what Lamar Jackson is doing. He's probably one of my favorite players to watch. But I just feel like the Browns have the best team in that division. So we'll see how it shakes out. It's going to be exciting. You can't say that about the division.
Yeah, I'll say this much. Cincinnati and Cleveland have yet to play, so we'll have to see between them. It's been really weird, and it's a little unfortunate. I think Cleveland has been really banged up, but so has Baltimore, quite frankly. I think right now Cincinnati looks the best because they haven't been injured. It's really that simple. I don't think Pittsburgh, even if they manage to make it in, will be a factor, as we kind of discussed with the whole Buffalo situation. So I really think, truthfully, at the end of the day, whoever is the king of the North, it's not going to be relevant to the Super Bowl regardless. I think Cincinnati's too inexperienced. I think even though Lamar Jackson's like a GOAT, I don't think he's got enough just for Lamar to pull it off. And Cleveland's just too damn injured. And honestly, even though I've always given Marvin a little flack about Baker, Baker's not going to get it done. He's just not. And their running game is fantastic. And their defense has been lackluster minus Myles Garrett. And I will say this, they're trying to clone Myles Garrett. He's had his blood drawn 4 times in 2 weeks. 4 times? They cloning him. It's that simple. They're cloning him, dude. They're cloning him. They saw TJ Watt and they're like, all right, there's a white guy that's almost as good as Myles Garrett. We got to get another brother in here. We're going to clone Myles and we're going to call him Myles Garrett, man. We're going to do something here. I don't know why they clone in this dude. 4 blood samples in 2 weeks? What? And it's random. Sure, it's random. Just to clarify, people, there's 3 random weekly tests between 1 out of the 52 people. Now, I'm not a mathematician and I'm not going to do the statistics, but for him to be picked 2 out of the 3 times out of the 52 players on his own team in 2 weeks in a row, come on, man. Enough said. I think at the end of the day, we're all on the same page. AFC North.
Can you blame him though? Have you seen that guy?
Oh no! If I was gonna clone anybody, Myles Garrett would be the first dude I'd clone, and then Aaron Donald would be the second dude I'd clone. That would be the order I would go in. Just from caveman look, Myles Garrett is the most fit dude. I don't even know why we're talking about this on the wire, but yes, Myles Garrett's the most fit dude I've ever seen in my life. He cloned now for sure. AFC North. Really competitive, a lot of strong teams, but I just don't think anyone's going to cut it. I think we're all in agreement on that level. We're going to go over the AFC South. This one's probably going to be like the East. We got the Tennessee Titans at 5-2, Indianapolis Colts 3-4, Jacksonville 1-5, Houston 1-6. Marvin, we're going to throw it at you. Marvin, what do you make of the AFC South?
The AFC South, the Tennessee is going to run away with this division easily. They're poised, for a Super Bowl run. They still got to answer some questions defensively, but they're so well coached by Mike Vrabel that they can make it happen. I mean, Derrick Henry doesn't look like he's slowing down a bit. They got Julio Jones and AJ Brown stays healthy. They could make a run at it. But I really don't see anyone else in this division contending. You go from the bottom. You got Houston. Houston's been trash. 1-6. It's a lost season. Tyrod Taylor is coming back. So, I mean, they're an organization that's rebuilding. They're getting ready to lose Deshaun Watson. So they've just been a mess. Houston sports is a mess. Minus, Rockets look like they're shaping up. But Jacksonville, they're a lost cause. We've talked about this before on the wire before, y'all. What's his name? Can't forget. What's this coach? Urban Meyer. Yeah, he's got to go. Yeah, Urban Meyer, he's got to go. He's got to get fired end of the season. They're 1-5. They're not going anywhere. But Trevor Lawrence has upside. And James Robinson, their running back, they'll be all right going into next year. They'll get Travis Etienne back. We haven't seen him play. He's been out for the whole season with an injury. But it's a lost cause for them. The Colts, Jonathan Taylor, your boy Richie, he's on your team. He actually did work the other day. They look good. They look much better. They look like they're finally getting some cohesion. Carson Wentz will keep finally getting comfortable with this team. In the pieces, they've got T.Y. Hilton back, and he was out with an injury this week. But they got Michael Pittman, who's probably their new number one. So they're going to contend with the Titans, but the Titans are still the runaway team in this division. This is the Titans division, and I really don't see anybody coming any close to them at all.
Sahe, how about you, man? What you think about the South?
It's like a little brother division. Even though that little brother has one of the most explosive and powerful freak of natures that I've ever seen in Derrick Henry down there. He's going to smash all the rushing and touchdown records for sure. But other than that, I just don't see this division doing much. You got the Colts, they're going to battle it out with the Titans. But at the end of the day, I'd like to see the Colts win that division. You know what I'm saying? Give Wentz some redemption. That's the story I want to see. Because, Derrick Henry is going to get all the praise in the world. But at the end of the day, I don't see any of these teams going to a championship game. This is a one and done division right here.
Right? What do you think?
I'm just going to follow suit. Tennessee is really the only team worth talking. I think the Colts are building something nice down there. But does anybody want to stand in front of Derrick Henry when he's coming at you full force? No. And then no one with a rational brain wants to stand and get hit by Derrick Henry. So they're just gonna run away with the AFC South, and we're gonna move on.
They're not running away. They're not running away. It's a business decision.
It is a business decision. It is.
Y'all saw him put. Every time I talk about Derrick Henry, I like to picture Josh Norman. With the ground.
Grabbing that air like, come back.
He threw another man. He threw another man.
Just the most disrespectful thing.
It was. To answer Trey, I would stand in front of him when he's going full force if I was supposed to block for him, and then he just shoved me out of the way anyway. I mean, that dude is a freak. It's awesome to see. Only thing I'm going to say here is, to everyone's point, this is a division not worth talking about except for Tennessee. The Colts could make it as a playoff contender through the wild card. They're a tough, scrappy team. It's very possible. The only thing I'll say is, even though I love King Henry, I'm rooting for him. I want him to break all the records this year. I want him to pass Eric Dickerson. He's got an extra game, so if he doesn't do it, that's disappointing, quite frankly, for the talent he has. But it's hard, man. This is not a running-friendly league. You got to pass, and all it takes is one bad game from him in the playoffs, and they lose. So it's a lot of pressure for a guy that's very limited compared to a quarterback. And he does what he does, and nobody does anything like it. And just to give you a quick example, Derrick Henry has 869 yards. Joe Mixon has 539. Joe Mixon is closer to the 30th player than he is to Derrick Henry. That's how much of a gap. Derrick Henry has a 2.5 game gap on every other running back. That's insane when you think about it. So enough said, beast mode. AFC West, we got another AFC Northish type thing. Well, you got a lot of parity. You got 5-2 Oakland Raiders. Wow, I said it. Las Vegas Raiders. Didn't see that coming that they'd actually win without Grudem, but here we are. They're 5-2. The Chargers 4-2. Kansas City 3-4. Denver Broncos 3-4. Trey, we're going to lead it off with you. What's your take on the AFC West?
I don't know. I live in Vegas, for those who watch this that don't know. So I am elated that the Raiders are winning. I'm glad that they're winning without John Gruden. That whole situation, I didn't get to talk about it on the wire, but I'm glad that they've taken that situation and they didn't let it hold them, and they turned it and they used it as fuel, and they blocked all the noise out, and they're continuing on the path that they started with John Gruden as far as like winning. So I think that the Raiders are going to win this division. I don't know what's happening with the Kansas City right now. And what it looks like is that Patrick Mahomes didn't know how to read defense 3 years ago, and it shows. That's what it's looking like. Defenses are playing too high safety. They're shadowing him, and he's making all the mistakes that someone inexperienced makes. Is what it looks like. It's mind-boggling though, honestly, because we were talking about them going to the Super Bowl this year. Well, at least a lot of people were talking about them going to the Super Bowl.
We were.
About him going to the Super Bowl this year, and he's looking like he's not even making the playoffs. So it's crazy. Denver. I don't really have anything to say about Denver. I didn't expect them to do anything this year, so. And who else? The Raiders, Kansas City,
Chargers,
and the Chargers. I don't know what to expect from the Chargers. I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I don't know how consistent this quarterback's going to be. And I figure once he becomes more consistent, then they'll be championship contenders.
Okay, Trey. So you think Kansas City is the odd man out to make the playoffs then?
Yeah.
Because Raiders winning, making it, and then the Chargers making it. Interesting.
I don't think Kansas City is going to make the playoffs this year.
Okay.
Not the way that they're playing.
The way they're playing, I don't.
Not the way that they're playing. Their defense can't stop anybody.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes throws the ball away, can't protect the football, and they can't run. I don't see you going to the playoffs.
Sahe, what you think, man? AFC West.
Kind of like the AFC North, how it's the picture that we're seeing right now is not the real picture. The Raiders are trash. The Chargers are good. They're up and coming. The Chiefs are the cream of the crop in that division. Let's just be real. They're having a nice little slide right now. But it's a close race. The Broncos are even hanging in there. So it's anybody's division right now. But of course, we already know that Patrick Mahomes and them are going to get it done. Come week 14, 15, they're going to be in the driver's seat in that division.
Marvin, what do you think?
I want to disagree, Sahe. I don't think it's anybody's division. I think that we all know Denver's not going anywhere. They look terrible. Their quarterback play is awful. I mean, I like Teddy Bridgewater, but the injuries are piling up. He looks bad. That defense looked awful the other night. They let a third-string running back get 146 yards. Terrible. They're not going anywhere. And I have to agree with you, Trey. Yeah, the Chiefs are not going anywhere. They look awful. I mean, Tyreek Hill can't catch anything. Travis Kelce's banged up. No Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Patrick Mahomes is turning the ball over. Teams aren't scared of them anymore. I mean, teams have made defensive adjustments. They've really gone in each week and they plan for them. So I really don't see the Chiefs doing it. Who else? But I think it's the Chargers. I think the Chargers can run away with this division. I mean, they just look like they're the most balanced team. They got Justin Herbert. I mean, Austin Eckler. They got Keenan Allen. They look solid. But I'm just not sold on the Raiders winning this division. I'm really not sold on Derek Carr. He's been playing great. He's playing good. He's had a good season. But I'm just not sold on them getting there. They're just not a playoff team to me. They're playing good football, but they played an Eagles team that's not going anywhere. So their wins are kind of at the beginning of the season. There's some good wins, but I don't think they'll win this division. I think the Chargers can get into the playoffs this year. If not win the division, but get into all.
Fair enough. For you fans out there that were watching, I saw my hair sticking out and I was laughing and couldn't fix it. So I apologize for that 45 seconds you'll see when Sahe was talking. The only thing I'm going to say about the AFC West is that you got 3 stud quarterbacks. Derek Carr just had his last game with 92% completion rate, 22 of 28. That's insane. Obviously, we already know what Herbert can do, and we know what Patrick Mahomes can do. I'm of the same volition that I don't see a pathway where Kansas City gets it. It really comes down to the Chargers and the Raiders as who wins that division. I believe they'll both also make the playoffs. My prediction is I'm going to stick with Vegas, quite frankly. I'm very angry with them because they left Oakland, but I just believe they're playing great football. And not that the Chargers aren't, their defense is spectacular, but Derek Carr is playing out of his mind, and I don't see that slowing down. This is a quarterback-driven league, and I really think this is the year that they'll do well. Do I believe well transitions to championship football? No. But I do believe that they will win the AFC West. Stick around, folks. We still got to hit the NFC, and we'll get right back to it. We got to pay the bills.
The H2G Podcast, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in to H2G to hear us talk about the real topics like the heartbeat law, social media, and more. The H2G Podcast, Season 7, every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
All right, we are back on the wire. It is NFC National Football Conference time. We're going to start it up at the top, NFC East. Ooh, NFC East, as some people call it. Dallas Cowboys 5-1, Washington 2-5, Philadelphia 2-5, New York 2-5. That was hard to read, people. Oof. You know what? I'm gonna start with Trey. Trey, please give us your belief on this conference and this division in particular.
I don't want to say it.
You're gonna have to.
Dallas Cowboys are gonna win this division.
Painful.
It pains me to say it, but the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this division. Unless something miraculous happens with the Washington football team, because they do have a defense, but their quarterback play is garbage. The Giants, they had a good win this past week, but they're garbage. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I will say I like how hard they're playing, but this is not their year. So it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys have the best offensive. They probably have the best offense and probably the best defense of this division. I would say. I don't know what's going on with Dak Prescott. I haven't really followed that up, but even without Dak Prescott, I still think that they can get things handled. So I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys in this division, the NFC East.
Yes. Okay. Bold pick there, Trey. Sahe,
oh, yeah.
Who do you think's winning the NFC East? Does it matter?
It definitely does matter because one of the teams in the division has a real good shot at making it all the way to the Super Bowl. And like Trey, it pains me to say it because I hate them. Oh, I don't hate them. That's a strong word. I just know too many Cowboys fans, you know what I'm saying? So they look real. They look good. They're all right. They took us down to the wire. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting us to stomp on them, even though I know with Dak Prescott, they have a prolific offense. They got all the weapons down there. So the Cowboys are really just competing with themselves out there. The rest of the division, the same as last year, no growth. So it's all about the Cowboys in the NFC East.
To the fans out there, I was laughing because I was anticipating Sahe saying it does matter because this is the team that's going to play Tampa and lose in the playoffs. But he said could go to the Super Bowl. That shocked me, Sahe. I was waiting.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they could. They got what it takes. They could see us in the NFC Championship game and get a fluke play, you know what I'm saying, and take it off. So I'm not going to take that away from him.
Wow, this is the most respect I've ever seen Sahe give a football team in my life. Marvin, what do you think about the NFC East?
I mean, Dallas is they're the favorites. Everyone else in the division is just playing catch up, and they're not going to catch up anytime soon. Just start with Washington football team. Like Trey said, their quarterback play is trash, and that's just being nice. They have no Ryan Fitzpatrick. They got Taylor Heineke. He is awful. He is trash. I mean, at least he gets the ball to Terry McLaurin every now and again, but you're not expecting anything out of him. He's not a QB1. The Eagles, I like Jalen Hurts. I like what he's been able to do this season, but they're not going anywhere either. They're still a long ways away. I just feel like they're still rebuilding the team. They got Miles Sanders, he's out. They got Devonta Smith, but just not enough to do anything. But yeah, this division's not really worth talking about minus the Cowboys. It doesn't pain me to say that they have the potential to make it all the way, I mean, because they're stacked. They're exciting to watch. I mean, I'm glad Dak is back. He looks great from his injury. Zeke is looking like Zeke again. CD Lamb looks like he's the number one receiver on that offense. So and if their defense has been it's played so much better. Like Trevon Diggs I think he's the defensive player of the year, honestly, so far. I mean, what's he got, like 6 picks? And how many?
I think 7.
He got 5 picks, 7 picks. That is unbelievable, man. Like, that's hard to do on Madden. Sahe, you playing it right now. Is that hard? Is that some hard shit?
Hard.
Yeah, hard.
Unheard of.
Hard. Right. But I honestly feel like it could be Bucks Dallas NFC title game, and that'd be a great rematch to see. I mean, because you got Tom Brady, who's not willing to give it up yet, and Dak, who said last year, I mean, he feels like the Cowboys have been in the Super Bowl if they're healthy. But I don't know. I mean, I honestly could see that matchup happening again, but I'd have to go with the Bucks edging them out in an NFC title game. But the Cowboys are there.
Yeah. Honestly, Cowboys look fantastic. To Sahe's point specifically, they played down to the wire with Tampa Bay. They're a fantastic team. The rest of the teams aren't worth really discussing. You know, I feel like all of those quarterbacks, particularly Jalen Hurts and Daniel Jones, they have crappy teams. You know, a lot of people are memeing on Daniel Jones, but I mean, who does he got? Saquon Barkley's out again. I mean, when you come in and Saquon Barkley's out, and then Daniel comes back year 2, and okay, Saquon's back, and then Saquon's out again. How do you expect him to succeed, quite frankly? So I'm not going to judge Daniel Jones nor Jalen Hurts right now, but the Cowboys look like a well-oiled machine. They're plus 59. They're looking fantastic and definitely a front runner. In addition to, quite frankly, the NFC in general has a lot of these stud front-running teams in their division. So, division champion Cowboys, I'm calling it now. Week 6 for them. There's no way they lose this at this point against them. NFC North. This is another one of those. We'll see. We got the Green Bay Packers at 6-1, Minnesota 3-3, Chicago 3-4, and Detroit at 0-7. NFC North. We're going to start it off with Sahe. Sahe, what do you think about this division?
The NFC North, man, the Packers all the way. Aaron Rodgers is still a bad mamma jamma. He's in there doing everything he can for the squad. He's got them boys 6-1. So that's all you need to know about the NFC North. the Bears, I don't think they look very good on Sunday. I don't know if any of you guys saw the game, but they couldn't even get they couldn't even get past this many in points. Tom Brady showed them last year. It was a little premonition. So you know what I'm saying? They got a lot to worry about down there. I'm sorry, Chicago. Minnesota, what are they going to do? And then you got, oh my God, okay. who else got an opinion on the division? Because you know what I'm saying, it's all about Aaron Rodgers right now.
Yeah, don't get picked, Sahe. Trey, how about you, man? What you think about this division? You muted, brother.
I'm sorry. It's Green Bay all the way. Justin Fields is in. I mean, he looks like he has a promise. He can make some plays, but he's getting a really rude awakening to the speed of the NFL after he said that the NFL looks slow. So, my Aaron Rodgers, just like every year, they start off slow and then he start picking it up with the cohesion. I mean, he took all summer off pretty much, and now he's starting to settle back in. Detroit is garbage. They're so bad. This is just bad. And like Sahe said, I mean, really, it's all, this division is all about Green Bay and the Bears. Yeah, Green Bay.
All right, Marv, what you got as a former cheesehead?
Well, I have to let y'all know. I mean, this is what Green Bay gives y'all every year. It sells y'all a dream, a regular season dream, regular season highlights. You know, Aaron Rodgers looks like he's an MVP, like caliber player. He's having fun. He's talking shit to white women in the stands. I mean, he's having a good time. But just wait. I promise you. Just wait. The show is not over. Just wait till we get to the postseason. I want to see all that then. But it is their division. To answer your question, it's the division flat out. I agree with the fellas here. Minnesota, man, they should be better than what they are. I mean, Dalvin Cook is struggled with some injuries the early part of the year, but I think if they can get right, they look like the only team that can challenge Green Bay. Because that rivalry has always been strong for years. And Minnesota, they've got the pieces to do it. But other than that, I mean, when you look at the bottom of the division, I mean, the Lions, they are a dumpster fire. Like, oh my God. I mean, we're looking at 0-16. Like, I don't know. Like, golf, I feel bad, all the things I said about Matt Stafford. Goff is really bad. Jared Goff is a really bad quarterback at this point in his career right now. I don't know if he wants to play or if it's Detroit, but they need to like keep doing what they're doing, lose so they can tank and get a new quarterback or get somebody, like, because this just can't be right for Lions fans out there. I don't even know a Lions fan. Well, actually, I do. And he said life is rough. He's from Michigan. He said he just doesn't talk about it. Other than that, I mean, the Bears, yeah, like Trey was saying, Justin Fields said that the NFL is slow. No, his release time is slow. He spends so much time in the pocket. Like, I don't get it. Like, no wonder how many he eats so many sacks. Like, when he gets sacked 6 times this past Sunday. So I don't know. They're really failing him in Chicago so far. I mean, they've got some injuries. David Montgomery is out. That's their offense. He is the Bears. But when you look at the pieces around Justin Fields, they just don't have it. Allen Robinson, he's not playing like a number one receiver. It's the contract situation over the summer. He don't want to be there. So this is Green Bay's division. Not much to talk about. We're running away with it. But don't let Green Bay fool you all. I mean, this is just the song and dance that they give y'all every year. We've been through this. So we'll see. But they're not beating the Bucks and they're not beating the Cowboys this year in the playoffs. I'll tell you, I'll predict that now on the wire. They will not beat the Bucks or the Cowboys.
Interesting. Well, here's my take on this. I'm with you, Marvin, but I don't think they'll beat the Bucks. I don't think they'll beat the Cowboys. I don't think they can beat the Cardinals, and I don't think they could beat the Rams. I don't see who they can beat. And that's weird because they're 6-1, but I just don't see who they could beat. Out of all those teams, I don't see who they could beat one of them, because Dallas is going to be able to outscore them. We won't even need to talk about Tampa. They're going to outscore them and they're going to play better defense. The Rams and the Cardinals have crazy defenses, and their offenses are stellar. So I don't see, even though Green Bay is still a great team, I'm with Marvin. Show it to me in the playoffs, which I've almost never seen them do except one time. So I just don't see it happening. I'm going to give Justin Fields some slack here. I got a statistic for you. Now, this doesn't mean it's the Bible, but Pro Football Focus, PFF, if you know what they are, they try to marginalize stats and really pay attention to the specifics and the mechanics. Justin Fields allegedly is only responsible for 5 of the 22 sacks he's had so far, because he's had 1.9 seconds on average to throw the ball away when he's getting sacked. So in all fairness to him, he's basically calling hike and he's getting hit. Now, some Bears fans, to their point against the statistic, is he should recognize it's a blitz and call an audible. So I'm not going one way or another. I'll say this much. He definitely needs to learn to read defenses. He's truly a rookie. He should have never said what he said, but the man is getting mauled in defensive end. NFC South, this is what I live for. This is Sahe's home. Tampa Bay 6-1, New Orleans Saints 3-2, Atlanta 3-3, Carolina 3-4. I'm gonna start it off with Trey. Trey, what do you think about the NFC South? You're an Atlanta fan.
Yeah, my Falcons are gonna turn this whole thing around. With the schedule we got lined up. You know what I'm saying? We got the Panthers, the Saints, the Cowboys, the Patriots, the Jaguars, the Bucks, and then I think we play Carolina again. I think we could turn it around. I mean, we 3-3 right now.
Yeah,
for sure.
What I'm saying? We can sneak on up in there, but no, it's Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay.
I see what you're doing there. You're trying to sound like I used to.
Tampa Bay.
Bucks fan
that's how you sound all the time. Yeah, like how you used to. Yeah, with Tampa Bay when it was dumpster juice. That's what it was. But no, it's. I think the division is trying to still figure itself out. Like you were saying earlier, it's still early. The Falcons are 3-3. They look good with the rookie and Matt Ryan. Their connection is starting to look good. Ridley's
Kyle
coming
Pitts
back.
looks dope.
Huh?
Kyle Pitts looks dope.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts looks dope. Calvin Ridley's coming back. Our defense looks oddly active. Doesn't necessarily mean that they hit, but they're active. Tampa Bay is a class of the division. I think that they're in a fight against themselves. They got to fight injuries, and they'll be fine. They're outside of the teams out of the NFC West. The Tampa Bay Bucks look like they're going to be in the driver's seat towards the Super Bowl. New Orleans, I'm watching New Orleans right now. They're up 10-7, but I don't know. Jameis Winston just doesn't take care of the ball enough for me. They don't have enough receiver-wise, and everybody's keying up on Kamara. And then there's the Panthers. And yeah, that's it for I have. That's all I have.
You're like, all right, white boy down, Christian McCaffrey out, no chance for them.
Yeah, there's no chance for them. After McCaffrey was their offense.
Yeah. Was, is, and always will be for now.
Right.
I'm just going to comment before I get to the other two. Kyle Pitts is an animal, because let me clarify. They didn't even know how to use him until 2 weeks ago, and he's on pace for 1,200 yards as a rookie tight end. They've been lining him up, which has been the difference. And, they were talking early in the draft, and I'm a Cincinnati fan. I'm only bringing this up because their options were Kyle Pitts, Sewell, and Jamar Chase. And I said, I don't want that lineman, dude. Give me Kyle Pitts or give me Chase. I want a playmaker. And, Kyle Pitts is going to be a phenom, man. I'm looking forward to see this guy for years to come. Matt Ryan might be 50 and still playing at this point, for crying out loud. And who knows, maybe their connection is going to develop even more. But they finally figured out a way to use this kid, and I'm looking forward to it. He might even do better than 1,200 yards. This kid is phenomenal, and I love to see that.
You still the throws he made this past Sunday?
Yeah, he still got it. He still got it. Marv, what you take? NFC South. We're gonna save Sahe for last because this is his division.
NFC South. Well, let's start at the top. The Bucks. They're looking like a championship contender. I mean, they're 6-1. I'm not gonna say they're unstoppable, but they're definitely the team to beat. Tom Brady has been, he threw 5 touchdowns this week, or 4. I mean, he's not slowing down anytime soon. So if they can get right, get healthy on defense and get some guys back, they're going to be back in the bowl game. But other than that, you go to the bottom of the division, the Panthers, they unfortunately they got some injuries. Christian McCaffrey just can't stay healthy for nothing. I think we're starting to look at the downfall of Christian McCaffrey being like the guy after the next year or so. But they're terrible. Sam Darnold was trash. Was he really the guy that they wanted in Carolina? For real, is Sam Darnold the answer to all their problems? Was that what they thought? Because why would you get rid of Teddy Bridgewater? I don't get it. Maybe you get rid of the black QB and bring in a guy that you bench, then bring in a black QB. I don't get that. I didn't get that the other day. They benched Sam Darnold because he only had 78 yards through 3 quarters and a pick, so they had to bench him. And they say, this is our guy going forward. But why did you bench him and put in PJ Walker? But you got rid of Teddy Bridgewater. I don't understand. I spent too much time with Carolina, but they're trash. The Saints, they're still trying to figure out who they are without Drew Brees. Their quarterback situation is sticky. You can't trust Jameis Winston for anything. He's a good QB, but he can give you 3-4 touchdowns one Sunday and then 5 or 6 the next. So they need another season to figure out what they're going to do in terms of their QB situation. Alvin Kamara is facing more stacked boxes, but he's doing Alvin Kamara things. Still having a great season, but they're not going to contend with the Bucks. The Falcons have been looking impressive the last couple of weeks. I got to admit. You got Kyle Pitts, who tore me apart in fantasy the other day. He was a nightmare. Every time I looked up Trey, it was a 20-yard gain here, 20-yard gain there, 39 yards. I was like, oh, damn, man, this is the Kyle Pitts. They were saying the draft in the summer, and I didn't do it. So, the Falcons, if they can take care of this easy schedule. No, it's any given Sunday, so no game is easy. But if they can take care of business, they can make some noise in the wild card. I don't trust their run game. Trey, I know you don't trust Mike Davis, but he can be all right if you put him up the goal line. He can be what Todd Gurley was last year. That's what I've been saying. But their defense looks a little better. But the Bucks are the clear-cut favorites to run away with this division and go back to the Super Bowl. And the dreaded Tom Brady getting 8 rings is that's something we all don't want to see. But I know Sahe want to see that. For sure, we got to see it.
Yeah, what I'll say real quick about the Panthers is they had almost 3 1,000-yard receivers, and then you go to Sam Darnold. A little puzzling. Sahe, what's your take on the NFC? What you got? Tampa Bay, maybe?
Where do I start? Man, it's a great division, ain't it? We've got teams all over the place, and if you're not careful, you're gonna get burned. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get burned by a squad.
Talk that stuff.
Because the Falcons, you know what I'm saying, they're still dangerous. They got Matt Ryan. They could strike at any time. The Panthers, all right, it's the Panthers. We'll leave that one there. Let's see. Who else we got? The Saints. They got Jabo Winston. They ain't doing nothing. Come on, man. But yeah, like we said, I'm gonna take too much time. Y'all already know what I'm gonna say. Buccaneers all the way. We got it.
Super Bowl?
Super Bowl or bust?
Super Bowl or bust. And that's going to do it for the NFC South, people. Super Bowl or bust, Tampa Bay. And we have another really stellar division. And I mean this in all sincerity. But do I really? NFC West, Arizona Cardinals 7-0. Los Angeles Rams 6-1. Seattle 2-4. And San Francisco 49ers 2-4. Sahe, what's your take on the NFC West? Who's coming out on top?
Who's coming out on top of the AFC West? It's the goddamn Cardinals, man. Without a doubt. The Cardinals are something fierce in that division. No! Oh, man. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. That was I shouldn't have done that. But the Cardinals are the team to beat. I'm scared of the Cardinals, low key. They're a great team. They're going to do great things. Who else is in that division? You got
the Rams.
The Rams. Yeah, the Rams are a great team. That's a scary division, man. Oh, man. I don't even really want to talk about it, to be honest. I'm stumbling and fumbling my words because I'm scared of those guys over there. So let's see. Cardinals or the Rams? I got to give it to the Rams. I feel like the Rams are a better team over the Cardinals, so they might. Who knows? It's a toss-up. It's going to be interesting to see, but ain't none of them making it to the Super Bowl. I'll tell you that now.
Okay. All right. So it looks like Sahe's favoring the Cowboys in Tampa over Arizona and LA. Fair enough. I'll say this much. The Cardinals are definitely looking fantastic, man. Their just to give you guys an example, their differential is plus 111 points. 111. They are whooping everybody they're playing. They're 7-0. They're dominating right now. Trey, how about you? What you think about this NFC West? When you unmute.
NFC West is the best division in football. Kyler Murray is my pick for MVP. They added Zach Ertz to an already stellar receiving core with B-Hop and Green and Kirk. I mean, he's flinging that ball anywhere. You just throw it up and somebody will be there. Their defense is stellar. J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones. You really don't know what to say because in that same division, you have the Rams. And I've been telling Marvin about Matthew Stafford since he was in Detroit. He's finally starting to come around. They got the defense. They got the weapons. Cooper Kupp is probably the best receiver in football this year, thanks to Matthew Stafford. And honestly, if we're really talking about it, it's really too early to talk about Seattle and the 49ers, I think. I still think they got time to turn their season around, but everybody can't make it out. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals right now, but I'm really close behind them is, I was about to say St. Louis, is the Rams. But only because the Cardinals started off not this good, but they started off fast last year, and then they slowed all the way down. And I don't want to get burned twice. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals because they look immaculate this year. But the Rams are doing some things, some really nice things with some really nice weapons, and they have the most consistent defense of all of them.
I'll say this much. When we saw the offseason, I'm not going to get into Marvin's distrust and things of that nature, but when we saw the offseason, the big moves that we saw were obviously Matt Stafford. And then we were making fun of J.J. Watt, his decision, and joking about it was about the money, not necessarily because he could have went to Pittsburgh to play with his brother. Well, clearly it wasn't about the money because he might be the biggest acquisition of the year when you look at Arizona's defense now. They're looking fantastic. Marvin, what do you think about the NFC West?
The NFC West is stacked. I mean, it's early in the season, and that's how stacked they are. I mean, you look at the Seahawks. If they can, keep their heads above water and wait for Russell Wilson to come back, they can still get into the wild card. They're still a dangerous team. I mean, they're you know, they can get Chris Carson back. They get healthy. They're still a good team. When you look at like who's contending in this division, I think it's a toss-up between the Rams and the Cardinals. But I'm gonna give, you know, as great as the Cardinals been playing, I'm gonna give the Rams the edge defensively, just because they've been together longer. I mean, the Cardinals have added some pieces, and Chandler Jones has played great. I know the Cardinals just added Zach Ertz. He looked great this past week. A lot of pieces are starting to come together for the Cardinals, so it definitely could come down to a game where you got Matt Stafford, who is more experienced than Kyler Murray. And that would be an interesting matchup, you know, for them, you know, to see them go at it again, because Matt Stafford's been there. I mean, I know the Cardinals beat them, but I just feel like the Rams have been together longer, and they can pull it out. And if they were to meet in the postseason, they can pull it out. But I really don't see the 49ers contending in this division at all. They're trying to figure out the quarterback situation. Trey Lance is hurt, but I think ultimately he'll end up taking over halfway throughout the year. They started out good, but they're just not going anywhere. They had their opportunity against the Chiefs a couple years ago, and they blew it. And I think they still haven't recovered from that. There's some teams that just have not recovered from Super Bowl losses. Sahe, Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are kind of broken right now from that Super Bowl loss from last year. and it shows. It looks like it shows, man, every week. Like, it just seems as if they just can't get out of their own way. But in this division, as great as the Cardinals have been, I'm going to give the Rams the edge because of Matt Stafford. He's just been playing so consistent and and Cooper Kupp is one of the best receivers in the game, if not the best receiver in the game of football right now. Their running game edged them out over the Cardinals' running game. Darrell Henderson's been great. But I'm going to give the Rams the edge, man. I really do. I think the Rams are the better team.
I'll say this much. In defense of San Francisco, down 11 starters over their 6 games. That's kind of hard to come back from. Seattle losing their quarterback, Russell Wilson, which is literally their entire offense, quite frankly. DK Metcalf having a down year. Seattle's having a tough time. Arizona and the Rams. This is tough, guys. This is a hard pick. You can't really go wrong either way. I think Trey mentioned something, which is why I'm saying the Rams, is that Arizona started off hot last year with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's balling out. He's on my fantasy, but you know what? The last 2 weeks, he's disappointed me. So I'm going with the Rams because I know what I'm going to get from them. Will Arizona stay this hot on offense? You know, the Rams, surprisingly, and in large part due to Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, have Robert Woods, Van Jefferson. They're looking phenomenal. They have a stout offense. You're talking about statistically the most consistent defense and has been number 1 or number 2 for 2.5 years now. They're not going to falter on their defense. I believe they'll squeeze it out. Although if Arizona wins, I wouldn't be surprised. So we're going to talk quick playoffs and we're going to move on, guys. You got a minute and a half each. Who do you see in the AFC as the 2 final teams? Who do you see in the NFC? Don't worry about Super Bowls. We're just talking AFC and NFC. So we'll start off with the AFC. We're going to go to Sahe. Sahe, who's your final 2 in the AFC at the end of it all?
I've been saying this since the beginning of the year, and I'm going to stick with my pick right here. We got the Chiefs and the Browns in the AFC Championship game.
All right. I like it. A man of conviction. Trey, who you got in the AFC?
I'm going to take the Raiders, and I'm going to take the Ravens.
Raiders and Ravens from Trey. Marvin, who you got? I like that. Who you got, Marv? Marv, you muted, brother.
My fault. I'm going to take the Chargers in Buffalo.
Ooh, Chargers in Buffalo. Okay, I like, wow. Y'all have some diversified picks. Diversified picks.
I like all of them.
I like all of those. Those are a whole, like, bevely of it. I'm honestly going to keep this simple. I'm with Sahe. At the beginning of the year, I stuck with Kansas City. just because Mahomes is having some bad games does not mean I'm going to blow out on it. I'm going to stick with Kansas City and Tennessee again. I think Kansas City and Tennessee are the two I expect to come out on the AFC. Let's go to the NFC. We're going to go in reverse order. Marvin, who you got on the NFC? This is a tricky one.
In the NFC, I've got Bucks, Cowboys.
Bucks, Cowboys. I like it. Bucks and Cowboys. Trey, who you got?
We'll go Rams and Bucks.
Rams and Bucks. Okay. All right. Sahe, who you got?
I can only see one team to make it to the top of the division, and it's the Tampa Bay. No, I got Tampa Bay, and we're going against our head coach's former team in the Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh, I like it. Sahe picking Arizona. They got some heat, and this is what's tricky for me. Because I am clearly a Rams fan. We've talked about this, but Arizona's playing phenomenally. I'm never going to discount Dallas. The only team I'll shit on is Green Bay. Green Bay's not going anywhere. We all know that. Fuck Green Bay. You know what? I got to stick with it. I'm going to say Rams and Bucks, man. Rams have been looking fantastic. They're plus 61. To give you guys some differentials, we got Buffalo at 111. We got Arizona at 111. LA at 61. Tampa Bay at 86. When you outscore your opponent that hard, you're dominating. So I'm going to stick with the Rams and the Bucks. To me, I still have the Bucks as my Super Bowl favorite. They brought everybody back. They're looking dominant. They barely lost to the Rams, and that was injured. That was not a full Bucks team. So let's clarify that. Bucks are still the favorites, but this is going to be an interesting season. We're looking at some stacked teams. This is a fun NFL season, and we're only halfway there. And next week, you're going to join us. We're going to talk about our statistical favorites. We love it. Offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, MVP to the halves of the season. Who was disappointing? Who we're excited to see? Who's the comeback player of the year? And who stunk it up? So until then, thanks for watching The Wire, and we'll see you next week, guys. Thank you.